Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, Mindset Coach, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And do leave me a review. I love reading them. And it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. When should I leave my job and go full-time in my business? I get asked this a lot, and this was a lovely listener asking me this question about when the best time is to actually leave a job and go full-time in your business. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I did this before, and I jumped straight into scarcity mode and panic, and it, along with all the other mindset gremlins that my brain threw at me, caused me to make all the excuses under the sun and then actually quit. But it also taught me some incredibly valuable lessons and sent me down a very different path, and one that I am hugely grateful to be on. So my mentality now about having both a job and a business is very, very different to before. I do believe you should stay in your job for as long as you can while you're building a business, or as long as you want to. Yeah, because you may find that you actually, while you're doing both, you actually quite like being in your job. It's a funny thing. It happens. So obviously there are so many potential benefits to doing so, but I'll go into a little more detail around that. So when is the right time? The reality is there is no right time. Soz. It's completely dependent on you and your circumstances, and only you can make the decision. But there are a few things, both practical and mindset, that I wish I'd known back then, or at least thought of, that I know now. And hopefully it can help you in making the decision or creating your plan of action. Yeah. So how many revenue streams do you have? When you have both a job and a business, think about other revenue streams of income too, because the average millionaire has 7. I'm just saying. Your mindset is a lot more bulletproof to what we see going on around us at the moment. So jobs are no longer the safest way to make your income, and also navigating all the inevitable mindset gremlins that come with growing a business can be tough. So doing both actually gives you the time to build your business up the right way, allows your mindset to catch up with you, and also means that if you were made redundant tomorrow, you already know that you're sorted. Nice, right? And you also not putting all your eggs in one proverbial basket, which, to be honest, is a really nice place to be. So I also don't believe you should only start a business because you're desperate to leave a job. I think there are a ton of things you can do before you spend a lot of time and a lot of money building something that you don't actually want. So it's important that you get really clear about that. And if you don't have passion for what you're trying to build, it will be that much harder. You'll procrastinate more, you'll feel more overwhelmed, and you'll sabotage yourself even more because deep down you don't really want what you're working towards. So here are a few practical things to think about when you're working out the right time for you to leave your job and go full-time in your business, or when you might want to think about getting a part-time job to support you and take the pressure off financially. Just throwing it out there. So first one is when you have peace of mind that you can afford it. When you are financially stable, which will mean something different for everybody listening, ideally you have multiple revenue streams and know that the bills are paid for the future, or at least for a little while, so you don't jump straight into panic mode. Know what you need to be making in your business to make this happen for yourself. Know your numbers. What do you need to make in your business to replace your income? What do you need in your business that is the absolute minimum that will cover all of your payments and all of that sort of thing? Know your numbers. So the next one is when you have your personal finances in check. No unmanageable credit card debt or loans to pay. You know, if you have credit card debt, make sure that you're really nailed on with your payment plan and you know that you can cover it. Start from a clean slate if you can. It's no good saving up 6 months to a year in salary if all it's going to do is pay down debts, and you'll still end up straight into good old scarcity mindset anyway. So, next one is when as many of the big costs in your business are already paid. Yeah, because you can spread these payments, you know that they're paid every single month, you know what you can pay off, all of that sort of thing. So, what do I mean by the big costs? Are you going to be a limited company? Do you need to trademark anything? Do you have all the qualifications that you want? Do you want to invest in getting your ads up and running beforehand and you need to pay an expert? Do you want a snazzy website? All sorts of things. And you absolutely do not need to overwhelm yourself thinking about these things, or do all of them or any of them, but just think about where your business is at and where you want it to be and how you can get off to a flying start when you do leave. Basically, are all your ducks in a row as much as possible? Have you planned out any events that you want to go to in the following year and put that money aside, or paid for your tickets in advance? How many ducks have you got in a row? Yeah. So next one is when you stop enjoying it. If you're completely miserable in your job, that's very, very different to just being bored or something along those lines. And if that's you, then you can completely change how you view it, like I did. And a couple of episodes to help you with that is how to balance a job and business without going insane, and how to be more positive in your job so your business can take off. It's absolutely possible. It's just a little bit of tweaking, a tweakaroo, shall we say. So the next one is when you understand it's not going to happen overnight. Have patience, grasshopper. It takes time. Okay, if you're pushing against a self-imposed deadline, it's not a great energy to then go jumping into scarcity mode with. You'll feel so overwhelmed. So try and let go of the attachment of needing it to happen now, and let the compound effect build up for you. And if you haven't read The Compound Effect, it's a great book. You can get it on Audible. And it's all about how the little things, the little actions build up and compound over time. Yeah. So you're likely to chop and change so many elements of your business in the first couple of years, you know, time and time again, until you find your thing, you know, and you settle into your rhythm. That does take time. You know, some unicorns do manage to do it in a couple of months, but the likely story is it's going to take a little bit of time and you may chop and change. And it's nice to have the option to do that, right? So the next one is when your mindset has caught up with you. Now, the transition from being employee to entrepreneur is far bigger than you expect to begin with. And as I've explained before, 95 to 99% of what we do is run by our unconscious mind. So it's run by habits. You need time to break old habits and form new ones and get out of the mentality of working for someone else and then get into doing everything for yourself, you know, to do it without the feedback of a manager, based on your own values and beliefs rather than those of a company, to let go of that regular payday, to be confident making all the decisions yourself and learning to trust those decisions, to get comfortable with failing and looking at things as an experiment to be tweaked over time rather than having to get it right every time. It can be absolutely liberating. It can be amazing, absolutely amazing and so exciting, or it can be completely constricting. So it's really, really good to allow yourself the time for those mindset shifts to happen before you jump. And they will. They will. You'll find yourself getting into that mindset while you're still in your job, but allow yourself that time. Yeah. And remember that your job can be your investor. You get to invest in yourself, mostly guilt-free. When you know what's coming in every month, it's easier to manage, right? Over the years, I've invested about 70K in my own development. Don't tell my mum, she'd go mad. The best courses, the best events, the best training, the best qualifications, and I love it. It lights me up learning. My business is built around being able to do that. I wouldn't be happy if I wasn't investing in myself and my growth. I always aim to be better than I was the day before. So having regular or passive income streams allows for this to happen, whatever those revenue streams may be. It could be that you have a ton of stuff that you want to sell through Facebook. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just knowing where that money is coming from and knowing that it is coming, because you know where you're at, there or thereabouts, each and every month. Personal development is my obsession. learning about the brain, about why people behave the way they do, health, nutrition, high performance, bettering myself. I love it all. So give yourself the time to test, experiment, and build. Yeah, you don't have to put the pressure on yourself. So the next one is to think when the timing is actually practical. For example, what I mean by this, if you're transitioning from employee to entrepreneur and your business is earning money, but you're also paying tax through PAYE, it might be a good idea to leave in April so you start the next tax year afresh. And that is obviously if you're not taking income for it yourself in your limited company. It is always, I'm not an accountant, it is always a good idea to speak to an accountant about these things before you make the decision. I spoke to an accountant right at the beginning of my journey and said, look, I want to know where I'm at, what I need to look out for, what sort of things I could be doing right now to prepare for when it's successful and it's making the money, and when do you get VAT registered and all of that sort of stuff. Plus, you're going to be less overwhelmed by the money side of things because you'll know where you're at. You'll know what to look out for. So speak to an accountant because it will really help make your decision and help you prepare. So the next one is when you love where you do your work. Okay, this is actually, people may think this is one of the smallest ones, but it's one of the biggest. Your environment will be so key to your success. If you're in an environment you don't like being in, or one full of distractions, then you'll make it more difficult on yourself than it needs to be. That procrastination gremlin will be sitting on your shoulder, and you will find excuses and things you need to do so you avoid being in there. I mean, the fridge needs cleaning, right? The whole house needs hoovering before you sit down and do any work. And before you know it, the entire day's gone. That laundry that just has to be done. So what can you do now to make sure you love being where you work? What can you change? Can you move it around? Whatever it may be, but make sure you actually really love being in that space. Yeah? So the next one, big one, is when you have the right support in place. Join a mastermind group of like-minded people. I run the Proactive Pants Mastermind, and it's all about never being more than a week away from solving a problem, always having that accountability, getting rid of overwhelm, getting rid of a lack of focus, and making sure that you're actually in a space where you're doing the things and it's not overwhelming you. Yeah, you can always change those mindset shifts, and over time it becomes your new normal way of thinking. Yeah, so make sure you have a coach or biz besties to help you navigate the inevitable mindset gremlins and support you and keep you on track during the transition. People who get where you're at, people who are doing it, people who have done it. Yeah, accountability will be so freaking important when you first make the jump. You have no idea. So there's just a few things that may help you make your decision. You can take note of some, all, or absolutely none of these and go, what the heck are you talking about? Shut up. Shut up, Fran. And as I said before, it has to be your decision. And when the time is right for you, nobody else can tell you that. Soz, not soz. This counts both ways. Deciding when to leave your job, or deciding to get yourself a part-time one or get yourself a contract for a bit while you grow and take that pressure off. The bottom line is we want to limit those mindset gremlins that can and will get in your way if you let them. So these tips will really help with that. Scarcity is not a fun place to be, and it is completely avoidable. It really is. So make it easier on yourself. Take the pressure off and have fun in the process. There's a lot there to think about. Don't let it overwhelm you. Let it help you. Okay?
So, if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now, because you can. And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.